Because you're a happy person. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's our favorite
Hey,
day. It's our
it's
favorite
our
day.
favorite day.
It's our
Hey.
favorite day. And I like your favorite shirt. It's our favorite day. It's our favorite day. It's the connected
Hey.
corner. We're getting reconnected. We're getting reconnected. You know, I always want to remix. We're getting reconnected, guys. Happy Tuesday. It's the connected corner. We're so
Yay.
excited. I'm your girl, Tori Rose, the connector. And
I'm your girl, Kiana B.
hey,
Mhm.
busy bee, beautiful bee,
Hey,
black bee in a good way.
right.
Boop. B stands
Yeah.
for boss. We're excited. Let me see your shirt. Can you lift up a little?
Oh, yeah. I'm the Nubian queen
A
today.
Nubian with a strong B. We are so excited.
Mhm.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us as we get reconnected to an amazing guest. You know, we like to bring you guys news and resources you can actually use, and it's up to you to use them. So please don't take advantage when we bring you these people. Make sure you are following them, you're getting connected. You're maybe even having virtual tea or coffee, or if you're in an environment where you're back outside, see if you can link up. Make sure that you're also subscribing to our YouTube channel at The Connected Corner. Make sure you hit that notification button so you get notified when we go live. Key, are you
Live.
ready to get connected and
Live.
reconnected to this amazing guest?
Yes, I am. We are
Um,
reconnecting tonight with the amazing Derrick Dixon of
yes, Mr.
3D
3D
Productions.
himself. Woo,
Hey,
woo, woo.
hey,
Welcome,
welcome.
welcome.
So we want to welcome you, Derrick, to the Connected Corner. Hey, and we're here today. We have this is our special segment. We like to reconnect with our previous guests.
Hey,
Um, hey, and so we are just so happy to have you here with us tonight. We had to do something fitting for you, a power performance person. You're just, power performance as a dad. We want to talk about what you have going on now with your Stomp the Runway for Autism and all the great things that are happening. But let's start with how have you been? He said, "Oh, that's how you been."
I have been wonderful. I've been doing wonderful. I am just so pleased that, the world is opening back up and we are moving forward with our lives, in a positive way. I hope that it's a positive way. So I'm excited about that. People, if you choose to vaccinate and do all that, please do it. Please still be safe and everything. But it's time for us to create the new normal. And that's what I'm excited about.
Awesome, awesome. That is good. Yeah, we are happy that things are opening back up. I've been inching my way back outside, doing a few things. And so, we're excited too with things opening back up, your productions and things that you're doing, coming back on the scene because we so enjoy supporting and attending the wonderful things that you do. So tell our audience like what you have going on now with 3D productions, what services, events, products, or things that you have to offer us.
This event. Well, I will start with the 3D Productions. 3D Productions right now, we are working on a stage play called Wounded. And Wounded is a play based on different things that we go through life, how we've wounded each other and don't even realize we've wounded each other. So it takes you, again, on a roller coaster ride, going from laughter to crying to thought provoking. So Wounded, I have a very strong cast, and we've actually started our in-person rehearsals in order to try to get this play in production on November 6th. So I haven't selected the venue or anything like that yet, so we're still working on the venue. But that's one of the biggest major things I am ready to do is to get back into theater, get back on stage, and that's my first love. I also am working on our next production with the 3D Foundation. The 3D Foundation is a nonprofit organization, and we're a 501c3 working with parents that have children with autism spectrum. And the fact that my son is on the autism spectrum, he is now 21, graduated, and on to the next program, I now have to re-educate myself of where he goes now and what to do now and what to offer now. So this is a new process that I'll be going through. And I will look forward to helping other parents with this transition. We are working on the next fashion show, Stomp the Runway for Autism, coming up October 23rd. And that is going to be at La Falim Arts and the Arts and Music, I believe that it's called. I'm sorry if I name, but October 23rd. And the tickets we'll have ticket information as of June 20th coming up. We'll have ticket information. We need to put that out because we have the model call on June 19th. So once we select the models and we'll move forward. We do have the designers. We're waiting to do the model call, and then we'll put the tickets out there to put them on sale to move forward. And then we'll be in Atlanta January 15th with Stomp the Runway for Autism. So we're about that as well. So we're doing a lot. And, hey, like I say, things are ready to open back up. We're ready to open back up and move forward.
I mean, I am so excited about all of that you have going on. Again, I'm ready to go to Atlanta and attend the Atlanta production of it. I've seen the ones here in Baltimore, so that is exciting. Just to hear like we are doing in-person, rehearsals and auditions, to hear that now after, all that has happened over the past year. And so what has changed in, how you're doing work or how you're doing business? How has things changed for you over the last year? Overcoming the things that have been going on, how has things changed for you in your business?
It actually was very tough because when you are in the considered the entertainment type business, you can't stage and put on fashion shows, everything slows down and basically stops. So when, the funding for your project stop, the funding for your nonprofit, it stopped because, you want to be creative, but to put on a stage play or a fashion show virtual is not the same thing as that in-person touch. So I made the decision, my production company not to do virtual shows because it's not the same. People's attention span is different when you do something live and then when you do something virtual. It's completely different. They might click on it, but 5 minutes later, they're like, okay, I got something to do. So when you got them there in person, you got their attention, and that energy different. You don't know if people are reacting to your energy, anything. You can't feel that. So, but it's thought provoking. I got to know a lot about me as a person, as a father, having 3 kids at home doing virtual. That was something. I learned how to TikTok. So I became the TikTok king and anything TikTok to keep entertained, keep my kids entertained, to keep the world entertained. So that was my form of being on stage was TikTok. So I thank God for TikTok. So, we went through things, but enjoyed it.
That is awesome. I'm still TikTok version. I guess I should have spent this pandemic time learning myself, but I haven't completely got there. But I love that. But you're a performer at heart, so it's perfect, for you to have been able to use that tool. So it sounds like you overcame some of those challenges by getting creative. What were one of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome? Outside of learning TikTok during the pandemic, what were some of the other challenges, and how did you learn from those things? especially, like you said, deciding not to make that shift to doing virtual, events. So what were some of the other challenges and how did you learn from them?
I believe some of the big challenges that I had to overcome is really not falling into depression, because the fact where, I wasn't able to fully be Derrick. So, not to fall into that depression and fall the eating and just laying around and everything. So, I had to find a side to it. I focused on the importance of what I was supposed to learn from the pandemic of not necessarily, the pandemic, but what I was supposed to learn for myself in the pandemic. We had to overcome being your own teacher at home. So you were teaching and you were feeding, you was the janitor, you was the cafeteria, and things that we do anyway. It was a 24/7 thing. So it was
Yeah, we definitely understand, those challenges. I didn't have to necessarily do the online and the virtual learning and things like that. Tori had that awesome experience. I know teaching from online from a teacher perspective, I did when the pandemic first started, but we are also familiar, with those challenges of people being thrown into the virtual environment. And so, like you said earlier, the attention span, you probably knew from just dealing as a parent that going to virtual events probably wasn't the way because you already see what's happening and people. I know even myself just overloaded with everything now being virtual meetings and business meetings. And, so that was, a good decision. And then, like you said, being creative and finding other ways to entertain people outside of doing full virtual events. So that is, awesome and good information for our viewers. And so, guys, you're listening now. I'm sure everybody's had different experiences. You're here with the Connected Corner. We are reconnecting with Mr. Derrick Dixon of 3D Productions and 3D Foundation. And so we want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So you go over to YouTube, type in the Connected Corner and subscribe so you can continue to get great information and hit that bell so you get notified when we are going live. So thank you again, Derrick, for just reconnecting with us, sharing, what you have been going through, the business, the changes for your business. And we're excited about the new shows and live shows that are coming up. So one of the other things, Tori, I know we've connected with you from the community perspective. So outside of, the things that you're doing with your production companies and your foundations, we know that you do a lot to help the community as well.
Yeah, and we appreciate all of that. And I think what you said is just huge because it is very easy to put a face on and to come out in the community or even at work, but to be forced in the house where you can't go lights, camera, action, let me go to work today, having to deal with your own maybe, depression and mental health issues. We know that you're the amazing parent of at least one son with autism who we've watched you grow and watched him grow. It's hard. It's hard, and so just taking a moment to acknowledge that you're talking about your own mental health and your needs as a parent, that's huge. So how do you work to make sure you don't get burned out or that you don't feel unmotivated, especially in the midst of self-love, loving your children, balancing a household, balancing a business, and then being a performer and doing all of these great things for others? How do you not get burned out or feel unmotivated?
on helping brothers out and talking about mental health for men. I want to speak on any type of depression or things like that. We don't want to open up about it So I had to find myself again, being a single parent and 3 children, 2 of school age, one on the autism spectrum. So it wasn't like a lot of times you could sit down and have an intimate adult conversation with someone. So finding that, I had to find again, have to find ways if it's journaling, that was my time again to reconnect with my talent as far as writing scripts or writing. You have to find self in yourself. And if you didn't do that during this pandemic, Shane, you had a whole year to really reevaluate who you were as a person. I think it was me being able to sit still, even though I'm very active in the community. I'm very active with, entertainment in that aspect. I think it was a time just to sit still, to rest and self-reflect, to get everything I needed to now come out of it and be stronger. So when I say you can't fall into the depression, I had to keep myself afloat and again, just be creative in my own way. So I self-motivated. I have to find things to keep me motivated. I think you have to stay around like-minded people too. Because if you don't stay around like-minded people, I do the Debbie Downers and people that don't want to move forward in their lives. So staying around like-minded people that motivate me. When I see people, the Tory Roses and the Kenya Jones out there doing things, it motivates you. And like, okay, all right, they're doing it. They're out there stepping, out there hitting the pavement and everything. So the you have to make the best of the virtual world, the the virtual training, the schooling, and everything like that. And it was me. I was like, if I hear one more voice in my head of 50 kids, it's going to drive me crazy. But again, was the thing. At least my kids have something that they can still get education. So it was still a blessing, but there was time. If one more voice, I'm going to lose it. So you got to walk out. You got to take your walk and just be by yourself and get yourself together. If it was driving, put gas in the car, that was my outlet. Say, I've got to go get gas. I only need $2, sir, but I just need to get some gas right now because I do Derrick right now.
Most certainly. Those outlets are so important. And, it is very interesting. My son is in the background asleep right now. He's been asleep for like the last 2 hours. And, it's this crunch time. This is middle school. I am being a drill sergeant, got to get this done, got to get that done, because he made the decision that he didn't want to fail. And while I was fully okay with him completing the 6th grade again, because I understand that we're in a pandemic and I recognize that this was not something from an educational standpoint that any of us were prepared for, he made the decision that he didn't want to fail. So then I made the decision to become a drill sergeant, right? I got to now be your accountability partner. And what I'm hearing you say is not only did you keep your kids accountable, but you held yourself accountable for being honest to say, I need a break. Even if that's just a quick walk, if that's running to the store, I need a moment. I was right along with you. I was filling my gas tank up, but it was on full already. So gas was spilling out, but it didn't matter. I needed a break every now and then. And so that's very real. And I think that's very relatable. And so thank you for sharing that. What other advice could you give someone who wants to pursue a career like yours, especially someone with children who feels like, I got these babies. How do I now become a performer or put together shows or do work in the community and do all three and do them looking flawless, might I ask, because you look good every time we see you. So how can I do what you do? What advice would you give?
The best advice I can give someone is to be honest with yourself and be honest in the craft. If you cannot give this 100%, then this is not for you, because you are going to have to pack your kids in the car and you know, go on rehearsals or take them to auditions, things like that. Because I always tell people, no one has to love your kids to love your kids. So not everyone is going to understand the grind that you have. You have to grind for yourself and for your family and believe in it for yourself. But you have to be honest in this craft. You're going to have a lot of no's. You're going to have a lot of people that are not supportive. But, you know, I always hear people say, no one supports what I do. Well, you know what? You're the biggest support. And if you don't support what you do, should I support it? If you don't believe in it, I can't believe in it. So if you're going to get into what we say the entertainment, business modeling, acting, singing, whatever you want to do, please be honest with yourself first. This is what I love to do. Can I give this 24/7? Can this be? Can I wake up thinking about it? Can I go to sleep thinking about it? If you don't do those things, then this is because it's hard, but it can be so fulfilling when you are on that stage and you got to keep going, because you know I'll go through my point where I'm putting all these shows together, and then the show is there, and then boom, it's over with. So I'm like, okay, now what? So you have to learn to be creative in ways that, you know, what's the next plan? What's the next step? Because if you sit around thinking Denzel, Oprah, all them gonna call you the next day because they saw you one time, it's not gonna help him. Ma'am, sir, you have to make sure that you first support yourself. You have to get up every morning, look in the mirror, say, I am the best. I am the best speaker. I am the best at what I do. You have to believe that, because once it manifests and you see the work happen, the Oprahs and all of them will call you. So I'm in that stage now. Every morning I wake up and I tell you are the best host, you are the best actor, you are the best speaker. You have to do it, because once you do it and believe in it, if I believe first, who else can tell me anything different? No. I am my number one supporter.
I love it. I was just writing my notes just so y'all understand, like, what is she over there doing? Writing my notes.
Right.
When the gurus speak, when the subject matter experts, when the people who have actually lived the walk and not just talking the talk, oh, I'm writing my notes. So you have to first support yourself. You said you first must support yourself. That's how you said it. I'm just writing it the way you said it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with Tori. I was like, yes, I like that. Give yourself that pat on the back. If you don't believe in you, who won't believe in you? And if I believe in me, who else gonna tell me that I'm not the best, right? It's like, who gonna check me, boo? Who gonna tell me I'm not the best, right? And so that is great advice. You know, listen, guys, news and resources you can use. Like we said, we've heard again that word manifest. There are certain things that you just going to keep connecting with on the Connected Corner, because it is very intentional about the guests and the people that are here. And so you'll continue to hear some of those things that we talk about, you know, manifesting what it is that you want. And so again, this news and resources you can use, but you got to use them, right? You got to listen to the nuggets and listen to the information and the wisdom that is coming, because those resources can be tangible and intangible. It could be a book of things that you could get, but it also is that wisdom that you're getting from the guests here at the Connected Corner. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure you subscribe to the Connected Corner. Go to YouTube, type in the Connected Corner, and hit the subscribe button. So, Derrick, you have given us great, you know, information and just tidbits and all of that. I mean, it just, again, the whys, the wisdom we know, right? And that's why this is power performance, because we just see you show up so much, and what you do. And so we just appreciate that and being connected to you. So what are some of the things or advice that you would have, not well, Tori talked about the advice that you would give people, but what are some of the resources? And so we know that affirmations and getting those breaks and self-care, you have talked about, but in addition to making sure we're taking care of ourselves, making sure we're motivating ourselves, what are some of the other resources that have helped you along the way, and being the person that you are in the community, with your productions? And so what are some of those resources that have helped you?
You guys, let me tell you something. We have in front of us every single day, and you never have, if you can't find anything, is YouTube and Google. And you can find whatever you need to know. YouTube and Google, you can find all the information that you want to know about acting and modeling and fixing your sync, that math work that your child is doing nowadays that you don't know about, that you need to Google and go on YouTube. If you ain't going to spend all this money to, like things and stuff, I have so many things that way as far as resources is that's right in front of us. It's in the palm of our hands. It's free. So therefore, you don't have to spend millions of dollars to take classes, to learn how to write a resume, going on job to do. The resource is right there. It's free. The other resource is to learn how to again, connect with people. This here, the Connecting Corner performances, learn how to take constructive criticism and correct, what did I just say? Criticism, when people are giving it to you in a way for you to learn, is not always a bad thing. It's something to empower you, to give you the wisdom of what you need to know. So I think it's very important, and especially when you listen to someone that a lot of times that is older than you as well. Younger people, I say, listen to them. The reason, we have our younger people that are out there protesting and doing things, we can learn from them. So the resources to me are so tangible. They're right there at the palm of your hands. That is the easiest way. We have so many shows that are now talk shows that utilize those things. But the best thing is also open up your mouth, and ask questions that you want to know. Ask questions. Into certain, pray about it. If you're not for sure and you need to get in your own quiet time and just meditate on some things that you're not for sure that, Derrick told me about this. Is this right? Pray about it, because after all things, he's not gonna take you somewhere that you don't want to go. He can open up. So make sure that you pray about it and believe in that. That with God is on you, you have to listen. That's one of the best is when God opens those doors for you. Listen. So, but as far as the internet, best resource in this world, best resource that you can have. I find everything on there. I know how to cook things I've never known how to bake. Everything.
You say, thank God for the interwebs. Right. I mean, I love that. And it's simplistic, right? And so sometimes it's that simple. I know Tori and I both, as former educators, well, always educators, but even teachers in the classroom, with my students, I'm like, did you just ask me that? Ask Uncle Google. Like you guys, we had to go through so much of studying, and for those that I never cheated, but I saw those people who used to have cheat sheets, when they were doing certain things. But like you said, it's in the palm of your hand. I would have them pick up your phone. See this? It is not just for Snapchatting and FaceTiming. Okay. this is also a resource. And so it's so wonderful you saying that, because even the adults and our listeners and viewers, we need to hear that sometimes. It's that simple of just Google it. Okay. And so that is a great resource for us all. So we just thank you for the wealth of knowledge and information that you've given us tonight. Tell our viewers how they can connect with you and follow you so they know when those performances, your plays, and the fashion shows are coming their way. Tell them how to follow you and connect with you.
Let me tell y'all something. You never have to say, Derrick, I never knew you were doing something. I am the Facebook guru. Everything that I do, every corner I turn, it is on Facebook. Not all my personal business, but anything that I'm doing is on Facebook. Follow me, Derrick Darrell Dixon, on Facebook, and on Instagram, Derrick Darrell Dixon. It's that simple. DRRICKDURRELLDIXON. Follow Derrick Darrell Dixon. Also, we have a radio show called Talk Up and Result. You follow me also on there every Thursday. We're on there 6:30 to 7:30. So follow me on that. But Derrick Darrell Dixon, Facebook guru. Can't miss any show, any production, how to do the auditions, all that kind of stuff. I put it on Facebook. So again, that's another resource. You have to use it. You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm here for it. So listen, guys, make sure you are connecting to this powerful, powerful man. And he is just so spirit-filled, and we love you. You are always, always, always family. And we are grateful to get reconnected. We will be there in January. My little brother is having a baby and they live in Atlanta. So any reason for me to go see my nephew, I'm going to take it. I'm like, oh, I was just in town for a fashion show, and let me smell his toes. You know how that goes. But anyway, so I am Tori Rose, the Connected, guys. Please get connected. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you also follow the Connected Corner on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And as Kiana said, if you are not subscribed, why? Go ahead and subscribe and don't miss these news and resources you can actually use. Kiana, how can we follow you?
You can follow me on all social media platforms, IG, Instagram. That's the same thing for our senior people, IG and Instagram, and Facebook and Twitter, and LinkedIn. It's Kiana B. Jones. And we're just at the end of our time today, but we want to thank you all for joining us. And thank you, Derrick, for being our special guest tonight. And without further ado, want to say God bless, good night, and peace.